Welcome back to Small Caps to all of our subscribers out there. Thank you so much for joining us throughout the year. This is our final investor chat with Tony Locantro from Alto Capital, as I often call him, Truth Bomb Tony, throughout the year. We've had some fascinating conversations. We've had a couple of disagreements, one or two bets. We'll see what happens to those in 2022. And some very interesting conversations over the year. This is our final one for 2021, only a few days before Santa comes down the chimney. No chimney in the back where you are, Tony. Welcome back to Small Caps, I should say. Great to see you. Not long to go till what is it that happens in New York? They drop the big ball.
New Year's.
Yeah. Are you exhausted after a big year? How are you feeling?
It's been a tough year, and thanks to all the viewers for their comments. This one's been a real grind. I've had a couple of stocks go really well, a 10-bagger, 5 and a 6, bada bing, bada boom. But generally, it's been a real grind because a lot of my stocks aren't yet appreciated, and the last couple of weeks have all been sold off. So I actually went Christmas shopping today. Instead of a Louis Vuitton handbag, I bought a couple of stocks instead.
I thought you were actually meaning that you were actually going shopping, and I was going to remind you last time that you said you don't do any of that stuff, but you went stocking filling.
Yeah, I bought myself some Copper Search CUS, and I bought myself some more Pack Gold PGO. Yeah, I spent a few grand. Oh, no, me and my partner have a total gift band, so I wrote her a poem.
Oh, that's nice. I'll go with that. Poems, that means that you put some thought into it. That's good.
Well, it's more thought than a $8 card and a Coles My gift voucher.
That is true. Well, my son is just after, let's have some of this. But anyway, let's get on to, I guess, top tips for 2022. We're coming to the end of 21. As you said, it was a bit of a grind this year. I totally agree with you. I'm pretty tired, but we do have the gold conference coming up in February. So before I go into your top tips, what's your view on the gold sector, and I guess silver as well, for 2022? Had a bit of a lackluster year this year.
I think gold and silver is going to be the best wealth protection and wealth creation. I just think we've had more bandwagons go past in a John Wayne movie, and we're going to get back to basics. As I said in the last video, gold and silver is where it's at. I mean, there was an article today about a 6-year-old girl buying a house.
I saw that.
No. She should be dollar cost averaging silver and gold. Instead of halving her money, she could become a disciplined investor over the longer term. But look, I think there's always a good market for gold and silver. Doesn't matter what the gold and silver price does, there's always producers out there that are going to make a shit ton of money. And as long as you cut your costs, I still think silver is the best commodity / precious metal you can have. And I'd be throwing everything at silver. I've got some silver. I'm going to load up my kids into the Perth Mint depository programs if they get around to sending me their ID. So, look, I'm always positive on gold and silver because, as viewers might know or sick of hearing it from me, Northern Star was 1 cent, went to $17. But during that journey, the gold index dropped 66%. And, it's like getting a Greyhound bus between LA and New York. You've just got to stay the journey. Along the way, you'll have lots of characters, lots of drive-by shootings, lots of clowns and tornadoes. You just got to get through all that stuff to get to the other side. And that's how I like these gold stocks, because the best friend for an emerging gold company is gold price weakness. So weakness, I will welcome, but geez, it's hard to hang on when you're getting poleaxed.
Oh, absolutely. And I think a lot of people these days, they're in for the quick win. They're in for, what they want to do is, why didn't I get into that stock? In fact, I saw something on social media today where someone said, I won't mention the stock. Oh, what's happened to this particular stock? And someone quite rightly said, mate, 12 months ago, it was, a quarter of the price it is today. What is your problem? But everybody wants to see everything going up in a straight line and then making a ton of what I call funny money. And they never get out, they never take profits. And then they wonder if it has a little bit of a wobble. It's all about just everything has to go my way. There's never any, I guess, Tony, people don't put the thought and the process and the understanding into it. They just want to make money.
Yeah, they're addicted, and they check their phones the whole time, and they get onto these forums and they become part of the herd, addicted to rubbish. They buy crap stocks at the top. They're then in handcuffs. It's like playing a poker machine at a Tweed Heads RSL. They're always waiting for the mini jackpot, and they keep gambling on the crap. But what I say to people is, if you go out on your own, you're going to expect 4 to 5 years of decent losses. You're going to fall in love with stocks off forums, newspaper. You're going to be the 13th man on the deal team. And it took me 5 years to work it out and 23 years to advise on it to work out the psychology. So, look, I released my Elegant 18, my top 18 speculative stocks for next year. That is on Twitter. That's on Twitter.
Let's go through those today. Look, it's the end of the year. I want to hear your top, what is it, the Elegant 18 for 2022. Let's go.
Yeah, well, I've given it more of a fashions on the fields. Can you imagine the Elegant 18? You're there at Randwick or Flemington, and you've got the Elegant 18. And again, most of those women can probably hold a conversation. So, I mean, that's a bit of a bonus. But he's
skating, isn't he, ladies and gentlemen? He's skating on thin ice there.
No, I don't care. I think as long as you tell the truth and have a disclaimer. I mean, society's just gone so soft now. So if I just tell the truth, let's run with it. But look, I don't have time to run through all the 18 stocks.
Okay.
Look, I liken the 18. It's not a Melbourne Cup, because a Melbourne Cup, you've got 5 or 6 good horses and 18 donkeys. I liken this to the Cox Plate of share investing. So every stock is a chance at a winner. So people say, well, what's your top 3? What I'm suggesting is, if people don't follow me on Twitter, you can go have a look. If you don't like Twitter, just put Tony Locantro Twitter and it'll all come up. And what I will state prior, Kerry, is that I'm not responsible for all. I'm not going to hold your hand if you buy these stocks elsewhere. You're on your own. So I'm not going to answer too many questions about them. If they 10 bag and you forget to sell, well, put yourself in the naughty corner.
I've been in the naughty corner recently, so I understand what that's like.
Yeah, well, if people really want to work at this, I can take on a small number of clients during January. If people want to pay me a little bit more than ComSec and they want their hands held, and I'm happy to do that. And in the end, you'll learn quicker than making 5 years of mistakes. So my book is open for a limited time only. But if I had to pick a trifecta...
that's exactly what I was about to say. Let's just... Can't we do a trifecta?
Well, we can do a biotech trifecta first.
Okay.
Actually, we'll do a biotech quadrella. So
what's a quadrella?
Quadrella. Yeah, so my top 4 biotech stocks for next year, Narada, NYR, is my top stock for 2022, full stop.
Yeah.
The reason why I like that stock is cholesterol drug, going into the clinic, traumatic brain injury. Market absolutely hates it because they are doing their job, maybe a slight delay, and everyone gets sick of it. So why not sell it down from 32 cents down to 22? Everyone gets negative. They bag it on the forums. They call James Bonner, who runs the company, all the names under the sun. And it's funny, people are only happy with the stock if it's at their break even or higher.
Yeah.
So Narada, NYR, is my top stock for next year. I hold 819,000 shares, or it's a 160 grand punt for me. And I think if I disclose it, our interests are aligned.
Yep.
My second pick is Chimeric, Charlie Hotel Mike. That is a great stock, trading around 25, 26 cents. Paul Hopper, CAR T cancer therapy, lots of platforms in the US. That stock could be a lot higher. And it wouldn't surprise me to see Chimeric and Narada fight it out, a la Bone Crusher and our Waverley Star. So they're the two.
Right.
My third stock's an interesting one, Kerry, because this stock halved shortly after listing. Radio Farm, 60-cent IPO, more hype than a Justin Bieber Taylor Swift concert, more hype than anything. And this stock got cut in half days after listing. So
what did they list at, Tony?
What was that?
When did they list and what did they list at?
Only a few weeks ago. 60 cents dropped to 29 cents.
Wow.
So I went shopping. I actually spent several $1,000s to try and get the lowest price. I actually got some at 29, and which I'll laminate, and that'll go straight to the pool room.
What was the, sorry, Tony, to interrupt you, but what was the catalyst for it to list only a few weeks ago and drop so hard? There must have been something in the market that said...
institutions, Kerry, that shall remain nameless. You get a lot of investors that promise to be long-term that will sell day one. You get a lot of investors that promise their brokers that they're in it for the long term. All they want is a stag. Once the stag doesn't come, they bail out like lemmings off a cliff.
Okay.
So
nothing fundamentally wrong with the business?
No. And actually, management sent out a letter to shareholders last week and said that everything's intact and we're actually in better shape. So what we've got is investors that are addicted to getting stag profits. They expect to be handed free money. When it doesn't come, they chuck a tanty. Yeah. So I went in there, I bought almost $200,000 worth of this stock. My theory is good management, good company, good potential. Life's too short to sit there with the money in the bank or under your mattress. So,
well, do you know what, Tony? Right now, if you've got money, funny money, in the bank or under your mattress, first of all, you're not getting any interest, number one. And number two, with inflation, you're going backwards. So, some people might say, well, you could go backwards in the stock market. Yeah, but at least you're having a go. And if you listen to Tony and do your research, do your own research, and maybe even reach out and speak to management, because they'll have a chat with you if you ask sensible questions. Don't you think, Tony? And, that's, to me, is, if you do your homework and you stay focused or you become a client of Tony's, then you're possibly in better shape. But Radio Farm only went down, you think, because people wanted to get out and they're just too short term.
Exactly. So the money comes in for it. I'm there for it to repeat what TLX has done. TLX 10 bag, it came on and got slaughtered on the IPO. So I'm there. But, moving on to my fourth stock is Exafarm.
Oh, yeah.
So this stock has done bugger all. It's been in a nasty downtrend. I sold some at $1. I've left a house on the table by not selling more, but I'm disciplined. I'm happy to ride it out and stay true. So they should hopefully have a US painted out soon. And Exosomes is going to be quite a big industry. So they are my top 4 biotech stocks.
Right.
Now, the hard part, moving into the mining stocks. So what I see with investors is you've got to have a wild swing. You've got to have something that could knock something out of the park with bases loaded. I bought some more Copper Search today. They're trading at 27 cents. Code is CUS. They have assembled 10 high priority targets in the Gawler Craton in South Australia. So they're looking for the BMF copper, gold, uranium, iron ore, copper, gold targets. So big targets. This is a stock where you halve your money or you make 5, 10, 20 times. So I really like the odds of that. If they have a dud project or two, the stock will halve. I will double up. It's like splitting eights at the blackjack table and hoping for a pair of threes.
Okay.
So
Right.
you've got to swing hard. And once if they find a mine, you've seen what companies do when they get a sniff of copper, that they go to the moon. So
Yeah, there was one this week, wasn't there, Tony? And I cannot for the life of me remember its name, but I was reading about it and they've had some massive copper hits. And because I can't remember the name, it's very hard for you to understand what I'm talking about. But
yeah,
it was, what?
fire away, keep going.
Well, just I think copper is a very, very good a sector commodity to be in, especially going into what we're going into, which is everyone's trying to get electric vehicles. Copper is in massive demand, and I think there's some challenges with Chile and some of their copper mines. So could be in for a good ride there with Copper Search. What's your number two?
My number two mining stock, I'm going to stick with Red Metal. This company has never, ever let me down. I caught lots of flack on social media because the share price doesn't move. Well, if you realise the cycle of a junior resource company, you could trade this son of a bitch. I mean, it got down to 3 cents in 15, 16, ran all the way to 25, back down to 5 during the COVID smackdown, and back up to 17. So this company has been listed for 18 years, has provided enormous trading opportunities, and it's a days of our livestock. It's like Bold and the Beautiful. You can.
So you're not investing, you're trading. Is that a good thing?
What was that?
You're not investing in the company. You're suggesting people trade it. Is that a good thing?
Well, you can have an investment in it and some trading stock as well. So people complain about the stock does nothing. Well, that's an absolute load of crap because the stock is volatile, even though it feels like it's 10 cents forever.
Right.
So, look, they've got a lead silver deposit in Queensland, which is a bloody good deposit, which will be a mine. It's a case of who mines it. You can't get institutions interested in lead, but, it's 30 million tonnes at 3% copper equivalent. Plus, they've got that joint venture with Oz Minerals looking for major projects. So that stock is hero or zero.
Right. Okay. Right. Number 4 on the lucky last on mining.
Well, I think we're up to 3.
Yeah, that's what I said. But, no, we're only at 2. Sorry, Copper Search.
2. Yeah.
Red. Sorry, number 3.
Look, I think backers of Chris Cairns should be backing E79.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So
big tick on that one.
Yeah, I've backed Chris since December 2004. So we're coming up to 17 years knowing him. I mean, that's the equivalent of both my bad marriages combined. So Chris has made some major discoveries. He made some discoveries at Integra that got taken over. Stavely has had a huge discovery. The market really doesn't like it at the moment. But I'm thinking if you're looking at gold, Laverton projects and management, that's the one you want to be on, around 23, 24 cents. So might be a little bit slow, but that is the one that's going to give you the solid base.
And for those of you that are listening to this at the moment, if you go and check on the Small Caps YouTube channel, I actually did an interview with Ned Summerhays not that long ago. So just put in the search bar E79 and it'll come up, and have a listen to what he has to say. I agree with you, Tony. Really interesting.
Yeah. And now this is the team that works under Bill Beeman. You know who it is. It's Oryaman. They have a deal to buy Middle Island's Sandstone project. This is a springboard they need to hopefully become a regional dominator and kickstart their growth. So Middle Island hasn't been able to make that project work. Brad and the team are paying $12 million for it. It does have 784,000 ounces. It probably has a rusty old mill, an airstrip and a camp. But when you've got people that have worked under Bill Beeman, who's the best gold company director I've seen ever, this, you have to notice this. And they're still trading around 20 cents. They had some massive drill results a couple of days ago, up to 90 grams per tonne. Amateurs sent it up to 26.5 cents, back to 20. So for me, if you're looking for something slow, steady growth, buy it, forget about it, take up golf, take up pottery, do anything else but watch that share price every 5 to 10 minutes. So
Yeah.
I've bought a lot of stock. I want to forget that I own it.
I agree with you because these things don't happen overnight. You're absolutely right. You know, it is people and projects. These guys, they've been I guess, built by the best. Bill Beeman knew what he was doing, knows what he's doing, and that Sandstone project, others have not been able to manage to get it to where it is. But there's a lot of exploration play around there as well, and these guys know what they're doing. You know, they wouldn't have bought it for the sake of buying it, and I think they've done a lot of DD on this. It's not something that they've just, you know, run outside and said, let's just grab this. They've actually done a lot of work. It's not something that's happened overnight. I think it's been quite a few months in the making. So,
yeah. And I have a saying is that good projects go to good people. They don't go to the sharks or colourful characters that don't do much for the industry. So, you know, it's like going back to Chris Bonwick and the growth of independence when he got offered, you know, to buy nickel mines. So I stick to that mantra that the professional people that don't jump on bandwagons, don't ramp their share prices, have the capacity to raise money, will get offered the decent projects. And once you've got one, it's a sausage factory. So I'm hoping Oryaman can now develop multiple mines, maybe over 5 to 10 years. For the young people, you'll still be young. For me, I'm 50. I'll probably trade some before I go into a nursing home.
do you know what? It's very sad when you say that, Tony, because I'm 10 years older than you. I've got a 6 in front of my name. And for all of you out there, yes, I do. And the birthday's the 14th of January. So that'll be 6 plus something. So don't stop talking about nursing homes. I'm way ahead of you.
You don't look a day over 35, Kerry.
There you go. must be all the juice I drink. Tony, we're running out of time. I want you just to finish up with what's the best advice that you can give, though, because, you know, we get a lot of people that listen to what you have to say over the year. We're going to have some fun in 2021, especially when I win my bottle of Verve. That's going to be fantastic. I think that's around September, ladies and gentlemen. Just remind us. So what's your top tips as we go into 22 for my beautiful audience out there?
Sell all your overpriced assets, which extends to a lot of assets. Get rid of them. Take your lotto wins, people. Interest rates are going up. Property prices are finally going to roll over. Yes, finally, because the Reserve Bank thinks that they can't lift rates. Well, they're going to have to. And my advice for people is to protect your wealth, sit on some cash, go look at all avenues into gold and silver. Don't go too hard, and look for shares outside the banks. But I think we're going to potentially have a bit of a banking crisis, which will start to develop. We're going to have a hell of a lot of mortgage stress next year. It's going to be a very ugly year, but there are going to be some fads. There will be some runs. So I just think people need to wake up because reality is coming. And the biggest dose of reality for me, Kerry, was after the dot-com bubble. I was drinking lunches, earning $70,000 a month, and then bugger all happened till the uranium bubble of 2005, 2006. So you can have a lean 4 to 5 years, and it can happen.
And it can hurt as well. So you heard what Tony said, bit of cash, because if you've got some cash, ladies and gentlemen, that's when you can take advantage of opportunities as they see. As Tony said right at the beginning, he is going to open up his book. If you're too lazy to do your own research, Tony will do it for you. You can reach him at tony@altocapital.com.au, I believe it is, isn't it, Tony? Yeah. So tony@altocapital.com.au. If you want him to do all the work, and you can sit back and hear from him every now and again as to what he's doing with your hard-earned cash. But like anything, you've got to take notice of things and stop listening too much to social media. Tony, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the Small Caps channel this year. We've really enjoyed your wit, your humour, your advice, and I'm going to take note of these 4 stocks in bio, 4 stocks in mining, and see where we are this time next year. I'm going to put it in the diary, and we'll revisit.
Absolutely. And to all viewers, let's go hard. And after we've gone hard, go home. So go hard, then go home.
And if you want to go and see Tony in person, so long as those borders are kept open, but your Premier has said 5th of February, those borders are opening up with WA. So hopefully, Tony, you'll be coming over to the Gold Conference. And if you'd want to see him face to face, then turn up at the Gold Conference. And I'm sure Tony will find some time to have a chat with you. For now,
always some humour, Kerry. And thanks to viewers for their support during the year.
Thanks for joining me on Small Caps. And to you, our listeners out there, have a very Merry Christmas. Thanks once again for joining us. We really appreciate each and every one of you, even those funny little comments we get every now and again. Thanks so much. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. We'll see you in 2022. Thanks, Tony.
Pleasure.